Our international affairs commentator Doug Herbert joins me now on set to discuss. Hi, Doug.
How are you?
So, U.S. delegation heading to Islamabad once again, more or less the same team, although we are hearing conflicting reports of whether Vice President J.D. Vance will be present. And we just received news just in that Iran's state television is saying that Tehran currently has no decision to send a negotiating delegation as long as there's a naval blockade. Given all this, despite all this, there will be hoping for better results this time, surely. A more fruitful outcome since the last time.
Well, first of all, the fact that right now we have these talks, second-round talks after the last talks failed to provide a breakthrough of any kind, shows that contrary to the White House narrative, it is not totally in control of the way this war is going. What I mean by that is Donald Trump thought in many respects, coming off of the Venezuela operation earlier this year, he thought that this was going to be a relative cakewalk. You'll remember that the last operation in June, he said that he had obliterated Iran's nuclear capability. We heard throughout this war early on that essentially Iran's Navy, its Air Force, its military had been decimated, and yet day after day, week after week, and now we're over 40 days in this war, we have a situation in which Iran continues not just to show resilience, but it almost seems to have a strut in its step. Now, obviously, Iran is aware of the fact it cannot match the U.S. militarily, but it has been very savvy, you can say, at adapting this strategy and what it does have at its disposal, and that is the Strait of Hormuz. We have a situation going into these next talks, and yes, as you said, the negotiators are set to arrive in Islamabad, Pakistan having served as the mediator, tomorrow evening. You have a situation in which you have that 2-week ceasefire, which has been very fragile anyway, is set to elapse. You have the situation in which Iran continues to reassert its grip, essentially a chokehold over the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump may say, well, we're controlling the Strait of Hormuz because we're blockading it from letting their ships enter. But in a sense, Iran is right back at Donald Trump by showing that at the end of the day, Iran is calling the shots in the sense that the only thing that will renew confidence among shippers and tankers and cargo shippers is when they feel a sense of security in crossing that strait. And it's for now Iran which is able to turn that spigot on and off, that spigot of a sense of security, and it's not there now. They keep it closed. Iranian leaders have been very blunt. The two sides, Donald Trump keeps saying how the two sides are close to a deal. Deal's coming up soon, right around the corner. Iranian leaders said, no, actually, the two sides remain divergent, far apart on many of the core issues, including the U.S. demands that Iran end its nuclear enrichment of uranium and also give its highly enriched uranium to the U.S. for export to the U.S. or perhaps some other country. Those are right now no-goes for Iran. It's standing by those literally its red lines. So Iran sees itself as having the upper hand militarily, even like if I said they can't match the U.S. militarily. And they also are very clear because they've said it in their own statements. They will not react to what they see as U.S. Donald Trump's threats, pressures, coercion, ultimatums. They will react to real diplomacy, but not of the kind that Donald Trump has exhibited so far.
So all these talks are well and good, but it's not just a decision amongst the heads at the table, is it? There are divisions within the Iranian regime on whether to keep the strait open or closed.
And this is not breaking news, right? This has been the case with the Iranian regime for years and years. We have had hardliners within the clerical establishment, even when Khamenei was still alive. And now that he is assassinated, his son has taken over. They very much remain entrenched. The sense of a clerical hardline leadership and also an entrenched hardline leadership at the top of sort of the parallel government and military force, the paramilitary force of the IRGC, the Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps. These are the men who are calling the shots, and they're not the moderate line. They're not the line we've been hearing from Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi. He's the one who had put up on his X account on Friday that the Strait of Hormuz was open again, indicating a lot of people, they raised their eyebrows. They said, Iran seems open to a willingness to negotiate and compromise. But right back at him, you had the IRGC, or at least someone, a spokesman from that paramilitary force saying, absolutely not. Iran doesn't basically act thanks to the tweets of idiots, he put it. Wasn't sure if he was referring to his own foreign minister, Araghchi being the idiot who tweeted this, or Donald Trump, but very clearly laying down a gauntlet and making it clear to not just Iran, but the rest of the world that the IRGC we're the ones with the Navy, we're the ones who are controlling right now, essentially, the Strait of Hormuz. That strait opens and it closes when we say it opens and closes, not when the moderate foreign minister or the even perhaps more moderate president of Iran, Pezeshkian, says. So you do have those divisions, you do have those factions, perhaps made worse by the fact that as leaders have been killed in the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran, you've had the communications lines breaking down.
All right, thank you very much indeed for that. That's Doug Herbert, our international affairs commentator.